I'm Laura Cohn again from the Workforce Partnership.
And I'm Dita Quinones. I'm a parent leader for Parent Voices, and I'm a full-time single parent journalist.
So I first want to say thank you again to Andy. The income sharing agreements work that we're doing I'm super excited about it. I talk about it everywhere I go. It's the second most exciting thing I think we're doing after the thing we're about to talk about. I'm just kidding. It's really amazing, but we're really looking forward to talking to you about this intersection between childcare and workforce. So let's think of some pairs. So there are two things sometimes that go really well together, like Halloween just happened, so I'm thinking chocolate and peanut butter, because miniature Reese's peanut butter cups, they're my favorite Halloween candy. And then there are other pairs of things that aren't just complementary, they're completely interdependent. One doesn't happen without the other. So for example, voting and democracy. If you don't have voting, then you don't have a democracy. And childcare and work are in that category of interdependent things. If you don't have work, if you don't have parents who are working, then you don't really need childcare so much. And it goes the other way too. If you don't have childcare, or if you can't afford childcare, or if you can't find good childcare run by people that you trust and believe will take good care of your children, then you tend not to have parents in the workforce. And this is a big problem. I suspect that many of you in this audience, I know I did. I'm a working parent now. My kids are above childcare age, but when they were in that 0 to 12 childcare zone, it was a struggle for me, and I'm confident that it was a struggle for many of you as well. As connected and interdependent as these two things are, you would think that our systems, the workforce system that San Diego Workforce Partnership is part of, that helps people get into work or move up to the next level in the work that they're doing, and the child care system that helps parents find and afford childcare, you would think that we would be as interconnected as those two ideas actually are, and yet we haven't been in the past. In fact, until recently, when you as a parent would come to our career center and tell one of our career agents that you need childcare in order to work or in order to take advantage of the training opportunity that might be available to you, we might have handed you a flyer about childcare or advised you to call 211, and that was sort of the extent of the support that we would give you in that need. But I'm happy to say that that's all changing now. For the past 8 months or so, we've been, these two systems, childcare and workforce, have been meeting together in what we call the 2Gen work group. So the 2Gen work group includes many organizations who are represented here today, and I'm excited to see you here: the YMCA, Child Care Development Associates, Neighborhood House Association, First Five San Diego, the County Office of Education, 211. I'm sure I'm forgetting some amazing partners. And we've been figuring out what we might do differently, how our systems might start to work together better to serve working families. And so we're really excited about this. The idea of 2Gen is that when we start doing this better, when we start serving families instead of us serving job seekers who happen to be parents and the child care system serving children, when we start serving families as a whole unit, everybody's going to do better. The parents are going to be better able to go to work, and they're going to be more reliable workers when they get there. And the children are going to grow up healthier, better supported, with better child development along the way. And there's even a deeper level of impact when we have our working families working, earning income, more secure, and knowing that their children are well cared for. They're less stressed. When parents are less stressed, then children's brains develop in a more healthy way. So better mental health for children and parents means better futures for children. So it's really important work, really powerful work. And to bring it alive for all of us today, Dita is joining us. She's going to share a bit of her story so that we can think together about this, about how work and childcare are inextricably linked. So Dita, could you just introduce a little bit about your background?
Sure. So I'm a parent leader for Parent Voices, and I am a single parent, full-time single parent. I'm raising my son on my own. I'm a full-time journalist, so I'm working, and you know, I am the new face of poverty. I'm glad what Elizabeth showed you guys earlier is that, you know, keep the fading American dream. I'm feeling that every day. I don't fit the typical profile of what you would think somebody who is going through homelessness or living in poverty, you know, being a single parent. You know, and just to localize it, I was raised right here in San Diego. I went to school at Mission Bay High School. I graduated there with honors. I love school. I'm a very curious person by nature, and I always loved taking pictures. So, you know, I moved to Los Angeles to get my bachelor's degree in cinematography. Thereafter, I went to UCLA to study broadcast news. Didn't finish my program there because didn't really like that program, and I had student loans. Crippling student loans, and so I needed to do something big, and one of those things was like, I'm gonna move to New York. I'm gonna work with magazines out there. That was my, you know, that was my goal, is that I was gonna hustle out there, get my money out there, and make a career for myself. I did great out there for maybe 7 years, and then the recession hit. The recession hit. It hurt a lot of journalists. I was working in entertainment news journalism, and a lot of people lost their jobs, including myself. You know, and I thought, wow, like, I finally made it. I felt like I finally made it, and my dream was alive, and then to get hit by the recession, I wasn't making money like I used to. And so, you know, I took whatever little savings I had, and I moved all the way back to Los Angeles. I moved my whole apartment back to, with all my belongings, all that. And so I tried to start all over in Los Angeles. And it's kind of hard talking about this. And so I found some work. I wasn't earning as much as I used to. I wasn't able to pay my student loans like I used to. And I got in a relationship. It was an abusive relationship, and I found myself pregnant too. And you know, when my son was born, it was a wake-up call that this is not the life that I wanted to live, and I feared for my life. And then I wanted to have a safety plan for myself. It's something I never planned on. I never thought I was going to be a single parent. I never thought I was going to be poor. I mean, I had a college education. I didn't think I would find myself in this type of situation. So I moved back to San Diego, and that was my entryway in being a single parent and trying to navigate and trying to find the balance of working and childcare.
Yeah, so tell us about coming home to San Diego and how childcare and your efforts to relaunch your career here in our community, how they intersected along the way.
It was really difficult and challenging. I mean, being a woman of color in journalism, it's very competitive. And then on top of that, I was a single mom with a newborn. And you know, I was really scared about what my outcome was going to be for my future, monetarily, and how I was going to be able to make it. Yeah, I had my family here, but I was bouncing around from one family member's house to another family member's house. I was always independent. My parents raised me to be an independent go-getter, you know, but now I had to, you know, raise my son too. How do I work full-time and have a child? So I really just freelanced and worked from home until I could find some childcare through the preschool, so that I could start working outside of the home.
Great, and once you had that care, it's a preschool, but it's a full day preschool at Educational Enrichment Systems, which is another amazing partner of ours.
They are.
Yeah. So what did that open up for you when you had your son cared for by people you trusted most of the day?
Well, I strategized, well, how was I going to get back into working, and I wanted to leave entertainment news and go into something more hard news. And it literally is like a hard move to make, to transition from that and going into broadcast television news. And so I found out about about getting food stamps. I found out about transitional housing. Those are things I never thought I would have to access, seriously. And I was done with moving from people's houses, family members' houses. I wanted to be on my own, and the thing I needed to really just just suck it up. And I admitted myself into a shelter. I was there for a month with my son, and then thereafter I got into transitional housing for 18 months, and that's when I was able to find out about EEC, and our advocates are here, Blake and Celine, and my son is here also. And I'm very thankful for them, because when I went back to school for broadcast news to get certified, because I told you I didn't finish it earlier, and I was like, I got to finish that. So that'll probably help me out a lot. So I was going to school more than full time because I wanted to get it done fast. I wanted to get a job. I wanted to get out of this welfare system, because you don't get a lot. People think that, people are milking the welfare system. For myself and my son, you get $300 for food stamps, and then you get $500 as a cash. So $800 a month. How do you do that with the child? That means you can't afford rent. That means you're bouncing around from people's homes, and I had to access going into a shelter. That was the reality. That was my reality. And I guess that's what I hope to be able to, with my stories, that it'll break the stereotypes, and hope that it opens up your heart and open up to do the math of the reality of what people like myself are going through. But that having that subsidized childcare, because I was so poor, I was able to access it. But during the internships, getting unpaid internships, it was hard balancing all of that. But luckily, I did have the subsidized childcare, so my son was taken care of, and it was really a peace of mind.
A peace of mind, and also made it possible for you to pursue school and do those internships, and now you're employed full-time at NBC.
That's correct, yeah.
Childcare journey isn't quite done, though.
No, it's not done. Thank you. So I got out from the internships. I worked my butt off, but I got to tell you that, working in hard news, and I was telling you that being a single mom wasn't easy. I didn't tell them for a year that I was a single mom. During one of my assignments at Southwestern Community College, I had a cooperative work experience class, and one of the assignments was that you had to interview somebody that you really, really, really admired. And that person was Soledad O'Brien. Some of you may know her, some of you may not, but she's like somebody I really looked up to as a journalist. And I had to ask her this question. I'm like, well, how am I, the anxiety of telling them that I'm a mom and that there is nobody else. It's just me really raising my son on my own income. And she's like, you know what, you don't tell them. You wait till you get your job, because there's going to be discrimination. I was going to get judged. They would judge like if you would be able to work the hours, if you were even capable or smart enough to do the job. I didn't have my son when I was, in my 20s. I had my son when I was 35. So I did the goal of have your career first and then have your child. So I try to do the right things. So.
The irony of that Soledad O'Brien advised you that, in part it's because she knows that employers don't trust that parents will have reliable care and will therefore be reliable workers.
And I have to say that, single working parents, they have everything to lose, so they're more motivated. I was more motivated to get things done. I was more motivated to be the first one to catch the story. If you need a research on that story, let me do it first. I worked on everything that I could, and I never told them no, I can't come late at night to help out. I made it happen, and luckily I had my family here, so that if I had to do a late night shift, my son would be over there, in safe hands. So.
Dita, thanks so much for sharing your story. I know all of us are really rooting for you and your son.
Thank you.
And we're confident that you're gonna really thrive in life because of the determination that you've shown.
Yeah, determination, and you know, this year, like I never thought that I would be able to do it, but you know, I finally submitted for the Emmys, and I won my first Emmy, and that Emmy really wasn't about the award. It was just about that was the first for my family. I was the first one to get that for our family, and to be, you know, to be able to make it. So I hope that, you know, it shows a little more the determination that we have as single parents to really thrive in the workforce.
Well, I want to let everyone know that the 2Gen work group is not just meeting and talking. Starting this month, the Career Center advisors are helping all of our parent job seekers sign up for subsidized childcare. We're starting to think about some deeper and exciting programs that we're not quite ready to announce, and we're working towards true system integration, where when you enroll with us, you also are getting co-enrolled. The eligibilities you earn with childcare, for example, would carry over into our workforce system as well. We're going to knit it together the way it should be for families like DITAs and her son. Thank you so much.
Thank
for
you.
coming.